The Wangliang Case. This is file 1919, where every legend has a file and every myth hides a darker truth. Tonight, we travel to ancient China, to forests older than memory, to ruins swallowed by silence, and to a name that survived thousands of years, Wangliang. Chapter 1. What is the Wangliang? The Wangliang appears in ancient Chinese mythology as a strange and shadowy spirit. Some texts describe it as a forest demon. Others say it lives in mountains. Some believe it feeds on the dead. Its form is unclear, sometimes small, sometimes twisted, sometimes described as having a human-like body with distorted features. But one detail repeats across versions: it thrives in isolation. Dark places, abandoned paths, lonely travelers. Chapter 2. The Ancient Records. Unlike modern urban legends, the Wangliang is mentioned in early Chinese literature. It appears in classical writings associated with ancient folklore collections. In those accounts, Wangliang was considered a supernatural being that inhabited wild landscapes. Back then, forests were dangerous. Mountains were unexplored. If someone disappeared, there had to be an explanation. The Wangliang became that explanation. Chapter 3. Spirit of the Wilderness. In ancient China, nature was deeply spiritual. Mountains had gods, rivers had spirits, forests had guardians, and sometimes predators. The Wangliang may have symbolized fear of the unknown wilderness. Travelers were warned not to wander alone at night, not because of animals, but because of spirits. Some versions claim the Wangliang could imitate sounds, lure people off paths, confuse direction. Chapter 4. The Corpse Feeder Theory and Darker Interpretations. The Wangliang was said to disturb graves, feed on corpses, or steal life energy. This connects it to broader East Asian ghost traditions involving restless spirits. But there is little physical description, which makes it more disturbing. The unknown shape of something is often scarier than a defined monster. Chapter 5. Psychological Interpretation. Let's step into modern analysis. Ancient civilizations often personified natural danger: dense fog, a spirit, echo in the forest, a demon, disappearance in mountains, a supernatural predator. The Wangliang may represent fear of getting lost, fear of death in isolation, fear of the dark wilderness. But its survival in literature suggests something deeper. It was not just a bedtime story, it was a cultural warning. Chapter 6. Is the Wangliang real? There is no scientific evidence of a physical Wangliang creature, no remains, no confirmed sightings. But the concept of shadow beings appears in many cultures worldwide. And across centuries, humans describe similar fears. Something watching from the trees, something just outside the firelight, something moving between shadows. Maybe the Wangliang was never meant to be seen clearly, because fear does not need a face. Final thoughts: the Wangliang is ancient, older than modern horror, older than written ghost stories in the West. It survived because it attached itself to something universal. The fear of being alone in the dark. Tonight, if you ever walk through a quiet forest and feel like you are not alone, remember this file. This has been file 1919. If you enjoy exploring dark mythology and ancient supernatural legends, subscribe now, because the next file is already waiting.